Have you ever wondered why a story can be so famous, even though at first glance it seems really strange? Well, that's how I felt when I came across Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis. Honestly, at first I was curious as to why so many people call this story a classic, even though the main character is just a man named Gregor Samsa, who suddenly wakes up and turns into a giant insect. Why did Kafka choose such an absurd idea? Why has this story survived for over 100 years and is still relevant today? It was this curiosity that made me decide to read it, and it turned out that the reading experience was not just about physical change, but also touched on family, work, and the meaning of humanity. So, in this video, I want to share my experience of reading The Metamorphosis from my point of view, what I found interesting, and also my reflections after closing the book. From the very beginning, I was shocked. Imagine the first page immediately shows Gregor Samsa waking up from sleep and turning into a giant insect. There's no logical explanation, no scientific background, just like that. As a reader, I felt strange, absurd, and even though it was ridiculous, but behind that strangeness came a sense of curiosity about what would happen to Gregor. How would this family respond? And yeah, from this I realized that Kafka deliberately invaded us into an absurd world, but one that felt very close to reality. Throughout the story, there are several very interesting parts also. First, I think it's about the reaction of Gregor's family. At first, they were just shocked, then they tried to accept it. His sister even took care of Gregor with affection, but over time they saw that he was disgusting and they began to distance themselves from him. And the second one, it's about Gregor's isolation. From a hardworking figure who was the breadwinner of the family, he turned into a lonely creature in his own room. While Gregor increasingly lost his humanity, his family began to figure out how they could make money. And the third one, at the last, I think it's the most painful turning point. When Gregor said that the creator was no longer Gregor. At that point, I felt really sad, as if Gregor's identity as a son or brother had been completely erased. And the climax is when Gregor dies alone. Well, his family feels relieved to be free from the burden. From my reading experience, I felt a mixture of pity, sadness, and also bitterness. Kafka seems to be asking us how sincere family love is when tested in extreme circumstances. Gregor, who was once the hero of the family, is immediately considered worthless when he can no longer work. This story makes me wonder, are humans valued for who they are, or only for their economic benefits? Ironically, this is still very relevant to modern life. At work, at home, and even in social relationships, we are overvalued only as long as we are productive. Otherwise, we are easily forgotten. After closing this book, the feeling that remains is not relief, but emptiness mixed with reflection. The Metamorphosis is not just a strange story about a man who turns into an insect, guys, but a bitter reflection of how the world treats people who are different, weak, or no longer useful. And the question that sticks with me the most is, who really changed? Gregor who lost his human form, or his family who lost their sense of humanity? Yeah, I think like that. So yeah, that's my review of Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis from my perspective. It's a short story, I think, but one full of meaning and deep reflection. Kafka doesn't provide answers. Instead, he leaves behind questions that continue to haunt us. And perhaps that is why this work remains timeless to this day. And yeah, thank you guys for watching my review. I hope this story also makes you reflect. And yep, I am Esta Ramadhani, and see you in the next review, guys.